name is Nicholas Montes, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. Welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another ranking video of upcoming films. This time, we're doing the upcoming films for the Dreamworks era, because we've gotten a lot of updates on Dreamworks and stuff for new upcoming movies. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started ranking all these upcoming films. So for me, if you guys don't know me, I'm very nervous for this film, because if you know me, I love the original Trolls. I love it. It's one of my favorite Dreamworks movies of all time, and I know that's something surprising if you're new to this channel. I love Trolls. It is my favorite, one of my favorite Dreamworks movies. And then we get into the second film, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me that that film is not great at all. It has a lot of issues. And so when they announced they were making a third film, I was a little nervous. And the trailer that we got a couple weeks ago kind of added a little bit of charm to it. But I'm not really interested into the story of Branch's long-lost brother. But at the same time, I hope that this movie could possibly make a story that could feel like a little bit like the original. But if I'm being honest, ever since Trolls World Tour, I haven't been feeling the best for the Trolls franchise. Now, the Madagascar franchise is kind of wild. It started off as this story of a lion, a hippo, a zebra, and a giraffe escaping the Central Park Zoo, and then getting shipped to Africa, but then getting knocked off a boat, and then basically going into the wild, or I guess San Diego, or actually, no, I think they actually landed on Madagascar, and then the second film, they actually go to Africa. You learn more about Alex's parents. And then the third film basically is just them joining the circus while on the run in Europe. That's basically the whole franchise. And then, of course, you have the Penguins of Madagascar movie, plus the series. And the series has just gone so many different ways. It's like, how could you possibly do another fourth film? It feels like that's kind of what Penguins of Madagascar was, with the continuation of the Penguins. It's like after Madagascar 3, Penguins of Madagascar takes place right after Madagascar 3. So I don't know how you could really continue the story through there. Granted, it'll still be interesting to see it, but I don't know. I don't have any hopes for this film. Now, this film is a little bit different because I actually have no idea what this book is. Probably the cool thing about Dreamworks movies is they tend to bring these books, these very comic booky books, and put them to life. They did it with Captain Underpants. I don't really know too much about this movie, but it'd be interesting to see. Now, once again, much like the other Ronan Boyle, I have no idea what this film is. I never read the book. The poster for the book looks cool, but besides that, don't really know too much about the premise of the story. Now, I put this title up a little bit higher because the title sounds a little more interesting, and the poster looks a little more interesting. So, I'm excited for this film a little bit, but there's not much here to really talk about. So, this is actually one of the next Dreamworks movies that's coming out this year in, I believe, June. The same weekend Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is coming out. Obviously, we know what film's gonna get more money, Indiana Jones. But, anyway, I think the trailer for it looked pretty cool. You know, the animation looked pretty cool. Kind of a step back after watching Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Boy, that movie was gorgeous. But the movie looks decent enough, as it's one of the first films we've got in a trailer for an upcoming Dreamworks movie. At the same time, there's not really much to really be excited for. It feels like a basic plot that we've seen before, and for that reason, there's just not much to be excited for from this film. So Mice and Mystics is kind of an interesting title, but it also sounds like something that I think fits DreamWorks' code. So I think that this movie possibly could work, but I don't know how it would be told. I think this is based off like a game or something, but it'd be pretty cool to look for in an animated film. So one of the things that I said about the first film, about one of the book stories, is one of my favorite things about Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is that they took this iconic book and just made it into this fantastic film with the comic imagery of the book. And they even kind of did it with Diary of a Wimpy Kid with those films on Disney+. And doing that with Dogman, I think I'm not sure if you could do it better, but I'm thinking if you do it in that style type of animation, it'll be pretty good and something special and something unique to those Dogman book lovers. Now, this is also another unpopular opinion, but I loved the first Boss Baby. I think that's another one of my favorite DreamWorks films. And then I even love the second film when it came out. It's not as good as the first film, but that second film really did a lot of great storytelling. And at the same time, also keeping up with the jokes. While the plot was a little bit very, chaotic, it had a lot of stuff that I really loved. So it easily was one of my favorite films of 2021. The third film, I'm interested to see how they're going to do the idea, but I can't really think of how you can continue this story. Granted, I have it high up. It's not in the top 2 because I don't know the story, but it's very high up most of the other ones because of the massive success, the massive love I have for the first 2 films. So that's kind of my take on it. But I would be interested to see what story they have for this film. Now, much like Boss Baby 3, where I don't really have a picture of where I think this franchise could go in the third film, Shrek 5, I actually have a pretty good idea as to what you could do with a 5th Shrek film. The first film started with this ogre who was trying to chase off these invaders from invading his swamp, and now he has a wife in Fiona. He met this donkey. He now has a cat in Puss in Boots. He now is friends with all these fairy tale creatures and characters. He now has kids with Felicia and Farkle and Fergus and all these guys. And then, of course, you have Fiona's parents in the kingdom of Far, Far Away. And, of course, King Arthur. And so, with all that said, I wonder how are they able to do with the film. Maybe they could do like a teenage ogres. They could show that they're kind of fading away from their parents a little bit and showing them being kind of like grandparents a little bit. And will it keep the same humor that the first 2 films had? Because I'm not going to lie to you, I like the 4th and 3rd film, but they are not the best films. Though I did like the 4th film. I did love the 4th film. Puss in Boots, the Puss in Boots Last Wish, absolutely one of the best Shrek films. And it really does set up Shrek 5 greatly. There's just a lot of stories, there's so much story you can really tell with this 5th film, and I think it could possibly be one of the best films in the franchise. Will it be better than Puss in Boots: The Last Wish? That's kind of early to think about, but it might be. I think it could be one of the best films in the franchise. So, who knows? But we still don't know any idea for it. Still, I cannot wait for this 5th Shrek film. Now, if you guys know me, I am a massive fan of the Kung Fu Panda franchise. I love this franchise to a heart. And when they announced that they're making a 4th film, I was incredibly excited to see more of this world. And really, the first film I thought was amazing. The second film I thought was even better. The 3rd film kind of had some issues when it comes to tone and a bit of story, but it still kept that charm of those original films. With this film, it's been over 6 years, maybe 7, since that first Kung Fu Panda 3 came out. Boy, does this movie need some work. I cannot wait for this, and especially when it comes to like I can't wait to see more awesome action, to see these characters again, to see this world. What villain are we gonna be in? Will this kind of tie into the Kung Fu Panda shows on Netflix and on Nickelodeon? And how will the animation be? Because after the massive success of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, with the way they kind of use this Spider-Verse animation, I'm wondering if that's going to be the same animation style for Kung Fu Panda 4. Now, granted, they're going back to the similar animation style for the new Ruby movie with the sea monsters and stuff, but overall, I cannot wait for Kung Fu Panda 4. So that's my ranking of all the upcoming DreamWorks animated films. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the about section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.